Hello, and welcome to the MPIA Quality Alliance webinar series. The MPIA Quality Alliance is a subcommittee of the Montana Photonics Industry Alliance in Bozeman, Montana. Our mission is to provide helpful tools for implementing quality management systems. This presentation is one of a series of recorded presentations and webinars designed to assist organizations with implementing processes as solutions to common manufacturing problems. My name is Ben Klein. I'm the Quality Manager for Teledyne FLIR Surveillance in Bozeman, Montana, and the Chair of the MPIA Quality Alliance. This presentation provides a framework for implementing a document control process in your organization. The document control process is an essential solution for ensuring you capture and organize organizational knowledge. In this presentation, you'll learn answers to the following questions. What is a document control process? Why implement a document control process? How do I implement a document control process? And finally, how does a document control process improve the organization? We'll begin with a problem statement and then demonstrate how these problems are solved by the document control process. Orders are coming in and the opportunity for growth and success have finally arrived, but production can't keep up with demand. You're wasting time and money on errors and inconsistencies. Personnel are spending hours searching for key drawings and work instructions when they could be building products. Buyers keep buying the wrong parts that don't work. They're sending obsolete drawings to their suppliers. A senior member of the team, the lead technician who's been with the organization since it began, is retiring. He's the only person who knows how to operate and maintain the machines and has been building the product since its first prototype. He knows the process like the back of his hand, and none of his processes are written down. The customer is waiting for a quote, but you can't find the latest revision of the most important drawing. If these problems sound familiar, then the solution is to implement a document control process. So what is a document control process? The document control process is a mechanism for organizing, storing, and distributing documents such as procedures, work instructions, forms, and drawings. It is a critical process to organizing your organization. One of the keys to success for any organization is being really good at managing the thousands of details. Well, this document control process is one of the tools for managing the details regarding documented information. Why implement a document control process? The primary reason for implementing a document control process is to reduce risk. And in this case, what we're talking about is the risk of losing your organizational knowledge, information, and data. It also prevents the risk of using wrong revisions by ensuring only the current revisions are available. And when we talk about organizational knowledge, what are we talking about? We're talking about how you designed your products. We're talking about how you build your products. We're also talking about some of the processes of your quality management system, such as how you purchase materials, how you control documents, how you calibrate your equipment, how you train your personnel. Document availability. Well, this ensures that the organizational knowledge is easily accessible to those who need it. It ensures procedures, work instructions are available at points of use. It ensures your buyers are buying the right revisions of materials, and it ensures your forms are easily available to capture information and data. Let's talk about some of the documents that you're going to control using this process. You're going to use it to control the procedures of your quality management system, which could include your quality manual if you have one, or the procedure for how you control documents, your calibration procedure, your purchasing procedure, your procedure for how you do your training in your organization, all the procedures for that run your quality management system. You're going to use this also to control your product-related work instructions, which describe how you build your product, how you manufacture or assemble your product. You'll use this to control your design drawings that define the specifications and requirements for your products. You'll use this to store the forms you use to capture information and data that you'll eventually store as quality records. You can control these as hard copies, electronic copies, or both. And you can also use this to control versions of your software and firmware. How to implement a document control process. We are going to provide 6 elements that are common to pretty much any document control process, and then we'll explore these in greater detail in the following slides. These steps are easy to implement and don't require fancy and often expensive software or apps. They can be implemented using basic tools that are likely already at your disposal. So the first step is to create a document library that stores all of your documents. Second, create a document template so that your documents have a common and familiar appearance and contain the key elements of a document. Third, determine a document numbering system that provides a unique identifier. There are many ways to approach document numbering. Fourth, assign a person to be your document control administrator. This person is responsible for coordinating the document control process and for maintaining the library. Fifth, determine an approval process. This defines who is authorized to approve and also the mechanism for that approval. And finally, determine a process for managing changes to these documents, which may include validating them prior to implementation. To create a document library, you'll begin by creating a top-level folder called the document library. And we use that term library to invoke knowledge. This is the place where you're going to store your knowledge and provide a common location where people can go to access this knowledge. In this folder, you're going to create 2 subfolders, a current revisions and an archive folder. Current revisions. This is where only the current revisions of your documents reside. This ensures that everyone is only using the ones you want them to use, which is the one that you're saying is the current best practice or best design or best method until a better idea or design comes to replace it. So right here, the current revisions is your best practices. Everyone goes here to retrieve that current revision when they need it. Document archive. This is where you'll store the obsolete revisions of documents. Once a document becomes obsolete, that is, it's replaced by an improved version of that process, it gets stored in the archive folder and essentially becomes a record. No one should pull documents from here unless it's part of an inquiry, root cause analysis, or some other purpose for understanding the history and evolution of the process. Place the document library in a centralized location where everyone can have access to it. This is best done on some kind of network. Generally, you want to have this folder fairly high up in your folder structure so it's easy to locate. Security. Make sure the library or network is cyber secure. This library holds your intellectual property, so you want to safeguard it to ensure unauthorized people can't access your proprietary information. Link. It's a good idea to ensure that everyone in your organization has a link to this document library on their respective computers. Again, you want to make it as easy as possible for personnel to gain access to your document library. Protection. Make sure that the documents are read-only except for a few select people in your organization. You want to reduce the risk of someone accidentally changing a document in the current revisions, or prevent someone with good intentions who wants to make a change but without knowing the full impact or risks involved with that change. The document control administrator is the main person and one of the very few who should have read-write access to the document library. You'll also want to have regular system backups of your server or network or files to ensure that they are protected from loss. It's a good idea to create a document template that everyone uses when they create a document in your system. This ensures that it has a common and familiar appearance and that key elements of a doc control system are not missed. One of the most important aspects of a document is its unique identity, and this consists of the company logo, the title, the doc number, the revision level, and you might even include the doc department that the document belongs to. When you save documents electronically, you'll want to include the unique identity in the file name, such as the doc number, title, revision level, so that they are easy to organize and locate in your library. When it comes to document numbering systems, there's lots of ways to do this. You could simply have a randomly generated number or a series of numbers that are generated in indexed order. Or you may want to have what's called a smart numbering system or significant numbering system, where the different numbers or letters have some kind of meaning that gives some indication of what that document is used for. Who approves your documents? Generally, you'll want the following people to approve the document. First, you'll want the author of the document to approve to indicate that they authored this particular revision. Sometimes you may have several authors. Under these circumstances, you can either have them all sign or have one of them sign as a representative for the rest of the authors. Second, you're going to want to have the process owner approve. The process owner is the person who is ultimately responsible for the successful output of the process. For example, the department manager or supervisor. If this process affects more than one department, such as a high-level quality management system procedure, you may want to have each of the process owners sign for approval. When you have multiple owners signing, you gain buy-in to the process, and the signed document becomes a form of agreement for how you want to conduct your business processes. You may want a subject matter expert approve the document if the process owner isn't the subject matter expert. This might be an engineer, for example, who helped design the product, who can assist with assessing the risk of a process to the product quality and reliability. This is particularly important for work instructions for how you make your assemblies. Finally, you'll want the document control administrator to sign. That person is not approving the content, but is instead reviewing and improving the basic formatting of the document to ensure it meets the current formatting rules of your organization. There are different mechanisms you can choose to determine how you're going to formally approve your documents to authorize them to be placed in the current revisions of your document library. You could have handwritten signatures directly on the document itself, or you could have handwritten signatures on a separate hard copy document approval form for that document. You could have a PDF that captures signatures with a click of a button that embeds information that comes from a specific login information. You could even have approvals simply through emails, where you send the document to your approvers who simply respond to the email as, quote, approved. However you decide to do it, you'll want to retain record of the approval for future reference as necessary. Let's talk about your document management process or your change control process. First, you want to authorize that the document is written or revised in the first place, right? The process owner is generally the one who authorizes the creation of any document. Then you may want to test the process as written to validate that it will actually lead to a successful outcome, particularly if that document describes how you build your product. Now simply do the document, write the document, revise the document. Submit the document for review and approval to the interested parties through the approval process we just described. Store the documents in the current revisions folder of your document library. And finally, notify the key personnel who use this document that the document has been released into the document library and is now available for use. This can also serve as a signal to train personnel to the current revision of that document. Note that some companies will change a part number for any change to form, fit, or function of a design drawing, for example. Others will only change the revision level. But either way, you're going to want to do one of those two things. The document library process is coordinated by your document control administrator, your DCA. This person generally is the only one in your organization, or at least one of the few, who has read-write access to the documents in the document library folder. The DCA is the person who maintains this library. When a new revision of the document is completed and formally approved, the DCA places it in the current revisions folder of your document library. If the document is a new revision of a document already in the library, then the DCA pulls the obsolete revision out of the current revision and places it in the archive folder. So how does a document control process improve your organization? The document control process is key to your success as an organization. It ensures that you have defined the processes in order to consistently build high-quality products. It captures and protects the essential knowledge of your organization for how you run your key business processes. It improves the efficiency of communicating this organizational knowledge by making it easily available to interested parties, and so you can train your personnel. Ultimately, it helps your organization evolve because it methodically captures changes and improvements. This is the essence of continual improvement and the foundation of becoming a learning organization. In summary, this is what you learned in this presentation. You learned that a document control process is simply a mechanism for organizing your organization by storing the current revisions of your documents. The document control process ensures that you capture and protect the essential knowledge of your organization so that it can be shared and not lost. A document control process can be easily implemented in a low-cost manner with available tools. Sharing and controlling documents that capture your organizational knowledge leads to important improvements that drive evolution and innovation. I hope you found this presentation useful and that it provides a helpful framework for implementing a document control process in your organization. For more information about this process and other processes, access to example templates, tools, and ideas, please visit our website at www.montanaphotonics.org. You are welcome to reach out to any of the members of the MPIA Quality Alliance for additional questions. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck with your system.